All right, class, it's time for the end of term reports. Quiet down, quiet down. Master Ricardo, less of the lip and the smile. It's time to pay attention. These could be very important for the following term. Mr. Lawson? Where is Mr. Lawson? Is he absent? Oh, Professor Marco, not again! I really wish AlphaTauri House would get their act in order. This has been a rather simple year in terms of transfers to different houses, but there's still plenty of stuff to talk about with some of you. So let's get started with Master de Vries. I know he's no longer with us, but he has had a very successful transfer to Toyota Academy, which is something I'm very happy about indeed that he's been able to find somewhere else, because Professor Marco has indeed been rather ruthless, but nevertheless, my marks from earlier on in the year still stand, since he has been able to follow up on said impressions. So I still have to give him a very unfortunate 3 out of 10. It's very much a shame that Master Tsunoda hasn't been able to show you how he's actually learned from you. An unfortunate dismissal that I personally wouldn't have done so hastily. Professor Marco will most definitely be having words with me later on. Sergeant? Sergeant, where are you? Ah, there you are. I see Professor Vowles has given you another term in order to show what you can do. I am aware that Williams House has got a couple of other people in the bottom set, bringing up to the top set, in place of you, but I think that you are worthy of another go. Your Las Vegas homework was very impressive, but it is a shame that the house wasn't able to give you the tools that you were needing. But nevertheless, I think you did reasonably given what you had. Williams House does need to buck its ideas up, but you cannot be making any more mistakes the following term, otherwise I will have to suspend you. But nevertheless, I will, given the present circumstances, and especially no more further Zandvoort antics, 5 out of 10. But that is very conditional. I can easily bring that down if you don't learn. Now, wherever Master Lawson's been allocated, I have to say an excellent debut, Master Lawson. I can't understand why you're not still in AlphaTauri House after your display in Singaporean studies. My suspicions are that he did play a little bit too long in the Qatari sandpit. That might have had something to do with it. I do hope that Master Lawson does show up again in a couple of terms' time. So for what we've been able to see, and the fact he was able to get a few stars in his report book, about 7 out of 10, I think I should do. Master Magnusson, oh dear, more of the same, I see. You've not been able to apply yourself more and more, and I know that your classmate has been rather vocal in his displeasure about his own matters, but it's a shame that we've not really seen that application from you. I am glad that you've been able to return and show something that you could do from last term. I do not want you, I'm afraid, Kevin, to be a little bit of a has-been, as has, many of your colleagues, so I am afraid my marks from the midterm report will still stand to, unfortunately be 3 out of 10. Sorry, dear boy, but you really need to try harder. But at least I recognized what you were able to do, unlike Master Joe. Master Joe, you've been really quiet over the term. I've really not seen your hand up, my dear boy. Unfortunately, that's what we kind of need in Formula One Academy. That is the kind of thing we need to see. People who raise their hand and apply themselves dutifully. Now, I understand that Alfa Romeo House is going through a bit of a transformation into whatever it seems to be. Their initial drafts are very unimpressive, but nevertheless, that does not give you excuses to make mistakes and be quiet. You need to speak up, my boy, because I've really not seen anything from you. Joe, you need to impress. So I'm afraid I cannot give you anything more than 4 out of 10, because I am aware that the house is giving you not the most ideal of equipment. Master Ricardo, yes, very good. I saw the light glinting off your chompers there. So I would have to imagine that your application was not all that bad. Your Mexican homework was astounding, and you did show up Master Tsunoda rather dutifully. But nevertheless, this is something that you need to build upon for the following year. I know there's going to be a lot of competition for Red Bull House's second seat. I know that is something very enticing, but that is something that you must put to the side, boy. You must be thinking about what you can do for whatever your house is going to be called next year as well. I've heard the drafts going around is not ideal, but, I don't make the rules, it's up to the house. But whatever insert your name here, Racing Bulls insert your name here, this is a cool spot house decides to choose from, that should not reflect on what your duties of care are for your team. Nevertheless, you have done reasonably, but I feel like there is something more that we can see from you. But it is good to know that you have some potential after all, so my rating still stands at 6 out of 10. Hulkenberg! Ah, yes, Master Hulkenberg. Yes, you've been rather vocal against your teachers. I've heard a lot of feedback from them that you've been a little bit, snarky with your words about wanting to transfer to Alfa Romeo House. Well, you cannot simply be doing that immediately. Mr. Steiner and Professor Haas, they have been very keen to keep you, and you really should be aware of what you are bringing to that team. You seem to be their only saving grace. To abandon them like that is not exactly sporting, my dear boy. But nevertheless, your impressions have been rather good. You have been able to carry the house indeed, but we've not really seen much, even with you using their older equipment. So I do have to bring your mark down slightly, but it's still rather impressive given what Master Magnussen has been able to produce. So in that light, I will be giving you a 7 out of 10. Bottas? Bottas, where are you? Pull your trousers up, boy! We've seen enough of that posterior to last us a lifetime. Yes, I am aware that you seem rather content where you are right now, but you seem to be almost even more anonymous than your partner, Master Joe. And I know that you've been caught gallivanting and streaking about the place, but that should not be detracting from the fact that you are meant to be doing your homework. Your homework is not, well, whatever that is. And I know that you've been at the gin cabinet a little bit more, and your scruffy Mexican homework leaves a lot to be desired. I know that the equipment is not to your liking, but you need to be doing what you can with what you're given. So I cannot give you any more than what I gave you in the midterm report, a 4 out of 10. Master Tsunoda! Master Tsunoda, right! I have some good words for you, my boy. Even though you do have the occasional temper tantrum, which is not really becoming for the top set of AlphaTauri House or whatever they're going to be called, this is something rather impressive. You did drop the ball with your Mexican homework, but your Abu Dhabi studies, they were excellent. And you did look rather good in your matching threads as well. I will be really keen to see what you can do next term against Master Ricciardo. And I do believe that if you do play your cards right, you might get a chance with Master Verstappen. May God have mercy on your soul. But nevertheless, very, very good. More of this, please. 7 out of 10. Albon? Albon. Ah, yes! Golden boy indeed, Master Albon. You have done Williams' house proud. You've been a rather fascinating guiding light to Master Sergeant. I should be really, really impressed to see what you can do. You've managed to pull it back from the brink of your career, my dear boy. You have done wonders. I cannot say any more that hasn't already been said. 9 out of 10. Well done. Well done. Hopefully, Williams House can provide you with some better equipment, and we might be able to bump that up to a 10. You're so close. So close. Right. Ocon. Now, put the war paint away. I know you're keen to impress and go full war mode next term, but you need to remember where your team is right now. That Vegas homework was very, very impressive. Fourth place overall with what you had, not too shabby. But you cannot be overly aggressive. Your aggression has been coming out against Master Gasly, and that is something to take into account. There is something called teamwork to consider, my boy. This is not bad at all. I will be giving you a 6 out of 10. That is still not too shabby, but I know that Alpine House hasn't been giving you something that you've been expecting from the last few years. They're getting their ducks in a row as well, but you should get your ducks in a row as well and play nice with your teammate, Master Gasly over there. This is your first year after your transfer to Alpine House, and I must say I am rather impressed with how you have acquainted yourself. This is something really good for the following term. Now, you must play nice with your teammate, but so far, so good from what I've heard. You've only had a couple of spats, but other than that, not bad at all. Now, you must keep your temper down slightly, like Master Ocon, but I am seeing something very interesting indeed, and you might get a snifter at maybe Ferrari House if you're lucky to partner Master Leclerc, because he's got a very nice appealing eye on you. As have I. Not bad at all, my boy. 7 out of 10 for you. No, my goodness, Master Stroll. Oh, your Qatari homework was not good indeed. You did not need to lash out to those around you. That was not good form. But nevertheless, you have been able to pick it up the last few races, and I will be a little bit leaner on you. I know I was very harsh with your score of 2 out of 10. It was a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction, my boy. But we must impress upon you that you cannot be just slacking off time and time again. I know there are opportunities elsewhere, and you do like your tennis courts, but I do feel like there's something more that we can see from you. Next year is very crucial for you. But you did step up indeed. These last couple of bits of homework have been very impressive. I've been wondering where they've been coming from. Where were they earlier in the term? So, as a result, I will give you a 4 out of 10. Just for that little bit of a pick-me-up towards the end of term. But this must be sustained throughout. Piastri, my boy, well done, excellent, in thumping good show indeed, your first year, 10 out of 10, I stand by what I said earlier in the term, fantastic stuff. You have really shown Master Norris what for, haven't you? I know I play favourites, but this is a traditional English grammar school. We all have favourites, don't we? And you're one of them. I cannot wait to see what you can do following term. Oh, I like that boy a lot. Master Russell? Oh, don't be glum, Master Russell. I know Mercedes House has been neglecting you as of late, but you are showing potential, but you need to play the team game slightly more. Master Hamilton has been able to pick himself up from his bootstraps, and you must be able to do that too. Just calm yourself down and maybe not do what you did in your Singaporean studies class. That was very close indeed, not too bad, but those mistakes will get you in trouble. But not overall terrible, but you do need to step up your game, otherwise other people from bottom sets might be able to usurp you, especially since Master Hamilton is picking up the pace. 6 out of 10, Master Science. Master Science. Now that show in your Singaporean studies was superb. Your application to your studies was exquisite. The only person other than Master Verstappen to be able to get top grades in a result in homework. That is something to commend. And I will bump up your grade slightly to an 8 out of 10 from your 7.5 from earlier on in the year, but I know there is going to be a little bit of a scrap for who's going to be the top banana when it comes to Ferrari House. This is a very prestigious position, and I feel like you need to be careful in what you do in order to get that top spot, but you're very, very close, and I know that a lot of other places will be very keen to have you, so do be aware of that. Now, speaking of, Master Leclerc. Master Leclerc, I know it's been a very unlucky term for you, but that final show towards the end, your last lesson, that was impressive indeed. Master Science has been rubbing off on you, and hopefully your little bit of a spiritual discovery in the middle of term was something that really fit the bill quite nicely. Now, I feel like there can be some more from you, but we need to see a little bit more application from you as well, but not overall terrible. I will give you a 7 out of 10 just to be fair, because a lot of things have been going against you, but you really need to start getting some top results as well, because we see in your initial studies they look really good, but they're just missing out on that last little bit. Now, Master Norris, I know you've been very, very glum. We've all heard about it time and time again, but you needn't be. This is something incredible to see. This has actually been your most successful term that we have seen since you joined us a few years ago. This is something to be proud of, Master Norris, and even though Master Piastri has been able to show you up a little bit over the course of this term, I feel like there can be more from you. You are in your prime, and you can do it. And I know that you have been making mistakes here or there, but they're very small and they can be corrected. McLaren House are very lucky to have you, and you are right in the pound seat to be able to provide for them exquisitely. So, 8 out of 10 for you. Now, Master Alonso. Oh, Master Alonso, we go back a long way, don't we? It's been a bit lean over the last few classes, but you've been able to pick it up again. And your Brazilian work, oh my goodness, with Master Perez, fantastic stuff. We were on the edge of our seats with that. We cannot forget all of the stuff you've done earlier on in the term, and you've been one of our oldest students, and you're still going strong. So I have no choice but to maintain your 9 out of 10 grade. Now, Master Hamilton. Master Hamilton, you have picked it up a little bit more. This has been a bit of a morose year for you at Mercedes House, and you have been on the glum side, but I know that you can apply yourself if you just work with your team slightly more. This can be good for following term, and from what I've seen, it will be a better term by default, so don't you worry about that, my boy. You can get this. I was a little bit too harsh with you in the previous term report, so I will be a little bit more keen to bump you up slightly, because your end game towards the end of it, the last minute stuff before you turn your homework in, has been rather notable. So I will bump you up slightly to an 8 out of 10 as well. Now, Master Perez. Oh dear. Oh, this is very, very conflicting news. I should mark you down even lower, but I can't bring myself to do that, because you have been through a lot of mitigating circumstances indeed. There's been a lot of things with Master Verstappen, and now it comes to read that he's been deliberately trying to best you and grind you down to the nearest inch of your life. And that's something I must consider in. You've been doing all you can, and you've lasted a very long time with Master Verstappen. Nobody else has been able to do that, so that's something that must be commendable. But your mistakes, they cannot be denied. They were very, very, very messy. But I am prepared to be a little bit more forgiving. So I will be giving you a 5 out of 10, but you're very lucky. I like you, Master Perez, and you need to be a little bit more discreet with how you project yourself in class, because that might lead to further mistakes, and I can easily bump that grade down if you carry on that way. Now, Master Verstappen, what more do I need to say? It's a 10 out of 10. I said everything that I needed to say in my previous report, and I don't really need to say any more. This is something that we have never really seen before, not even since Master Schumacher was around, or Master Hamilton in his prime. I feel that there are going to be some great things from you, but you just need to keep it up. That's all I need to say. And now, class, the moment you've been waiting for. I am here to bestow you this, the Ladder of Honor, to the driver that I deem the most impressive, regardless of position on the calendar and on the roster. I could give it to Master Sergeant if I wanted to. I could give it to Master Verstappen. But quite clearly, Max, my boy, you have had quite a lot of trophies. So I think maybe we should just give this to somebody else. So who am I going to give this, the Ladder of Honor, to? Well, buckle yourself up, my dear fellows, but there's only one person that I would be thinking that would be getting this. No, Master Piastri, I know I like you, but I can't be too fond of you. I'm going to have to give this to Master Alonso. Well done, my boy. Congratulations there. You just take that. Well done. Master Hamilton really should be learning a thing or two from you. You're showing the old boys what for, eh? Oh, school life, isn't it grand? Now, I know you're very keen to tuck into your Christmas pudding or whatever regional delicacies you all have, because I know indeed that you are looking forward to your break. Now, all that remains to be saying to me is, happy holidays, one and all, and to you too as well, you're observant. I know there are some very proud parents and well-wishers out there, and just take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all next term. Dismissed! And by the way, my dear listeners, if you were keen to find out what I did say in the midterm report, you can go and watch that next.